Welcome to Nitta International Incorporated. Nitta's power transmission belts and conveyor belts are popularly employed in almost every industry. The recent trend of lighter and more compact machinery requires comparable functions and qualities of belting products, thereby urging makers to provide products of a wider range of performance to meet those requirements. Furthermore, the rapid technological innovation shortens the life cycle of industrial equipment, with the result that it forces belting manufacturers to design, develop, and supply products to best cope with such drastic changes. Our Belting Products Division can quickly and efficiently respond to the varied needs of industry by carrying out its mission of always keeping one step ahead of technological developments. Nitta International Incorporated is the marketing area in the USA for Nitta Industries Corporation. Locating in Georgia in 1981, the subsidiary has continued to grow and prosper over the past 6.5 years, allowing the company to move into a newly owned 67,000 square foot facility in the Atlanta suburb of Duluth. The new warehouse supports the philosophy of quality, service, and dependability by providing local stock and complete fabrication services, which supports our network of distributors nationwide. The new facility was opened to distributors, friends, and business associates March 29, 1988, during the open house celebration.
I'd like to thank y'all for coming to see us today, and welcome. And before we have our first speaker, I'd like to recognize a few special guests, affiliates that we have with us in the Nitta organization. From Flanders Filters, Mr. Caldwell Jr. Would you stand if you're here? Thank you. Mr. Thomas Allen. From Fluorocarbon, James Gorian. Rodell Incorporated, Mr. William Budinger. From Gates Corporation, Dr. Stoner. And Mr. James Arbuckle. From JR3 Incorporated, Mr. John Ramming. From the Barry Wright Corporation, Mr. Charles Salerno. From Dolan Jenner Industries Incorporated, Mr. Bernard Dolan. From DJK Corporation of America Incorporated, Mr. Kyoji Sato. From Purefil Incorporated, Mr. William Weiler. And I'd also like to recognize the contractor who built the building, Mr. David Wheeler. Our first speaker is the former chairman and advisor Our first speaker is the chairman of Nitta Industries Corporation and Nitta International, Mr. Katsuhara Ashizawa.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to meet you all who have been good enough to come to this meeting today. It was 8 years ago, namely in March 1980, that our company, Nitta Industries Corporation, started its sales in this country by establishing the Nitta International Incorporated at Mountain Lakes in New Jersey. In those days of its initial stage, our Japanese staffs were engaged in business as the resident representatives of the company and after 2 years, the office has moved in Atlanta. At that stage, we have entrusted Mr. John Gilbert, who is an American, with the task of company management until now. I believe this is the main cause of today's success. Its operation was not on the right track in the first half, and the income did not cover the expense. But finally, in recent years, its earnings have been stabilized. Our main products being sold by Nitta International are composite flat belts, which are used in rather specific industries, such as spinning, fabric, textile, paper, flour milling, and others. Our company has been making efforts to raise its technological strength, extending over so many years. As a result, we have somehow or other reached the level to produce such high-quality products as being able to pass for first-class goods in the world. It is our utmost pride that this point received recognition also in U.S. market, and the sales increase year after year. Here in United States, there are several excellent companies which are in familiar relation with our company in long years. Thanks to these companies, we were able to enjoy business in many ways so far, such as introduction of technology, establishment of joint venture, grant of sales right, and etc. in Japan. I am very glad to see several guests from these companies in this meeting today. I now think we have come to understand more or less America and Americans through acquaintance with these companies. In other words, we have come to feel respect for America and Americans by our contact with people in these companies over a long term of years. This is very significant for us to have become acquainted with such people in such a country. Let me add here my brief impression received through our works. Americans are extremely reasonable in their judgment. It is exceedingly comfortable to see things are always decided by reason. On the other hand, they are extremely severe in the pursuit of company's profit and stick fast to their assertion. Personally, however, they are full of gentlemanship, sociable, and very pleasant. There is another thing I admire. You may feel strange if I say like this. Almost all top management people in USA speak splendid English, write fine composition, and have very abundant vocabulary. In short, their intellectual standard is really high. To tell the truth, I had an experience a few years ago. Among my several speeches and written essays made in public, I picked up my opinion on the difference in culture between USA and Japan. I have sent them after translation into English to my related people in USA. To my surprise, whole people without exception, responded to me with their letters of appreciation, in which, to my further astonishment, they never failed to state some comment or opinion, short or long, respectively. Then I have prepared the copies of these exchanged letters and sent them to my friends in Japan who can understand English for their reference. Naturally, no comment has come back to me except one person whom I cannot say exactly as my friend. He was an English lesson teacher in my high school days and is still a leading feature in English linguistics in Japan. He is also well known as the responsible translator of the Random House Dictionary into Japanese language. My respected teacher has expressed in his reply his thought like this. By these letters from USA, we can find how the intellectual standard of top management, together with the educational level of their all secretaries, are so high. Many out of my former pupils are now teaching English secretarial courses across our country. I would like to give these letters to them as the living teaching materials. I thank you very much for you sending me such precious things. This praise was also an unexpected praise to me, but at the same time, I felt entirely the same way as he did. We think it very fortunate being able to work with such prominent people in such a wonderful country, and sincerely want to continue it for many, many years ahead. Those are reasons why we have acquired some portion of land here and set up a building in line with the lasting plan. We, however, are aware of how our knowledge on United States of America is not sufficient enough. I look to you for guidance and encouragement also in future. Let me close my compliments in Japanese style by saying that I sincerely wish all of you who are present here today many more years of the prosperity and happiness. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker will be Mr. Randy Cardoza. He's the Deputy Commissioner of the Department of Industry and Trade.
Thank you, Mr. Ashizawa, Consul General Nakuro, Dr. Everson, Mrs. Webb, Mr. Gilbert, and Mr. Nitta, and other distinguished guests. It's a real pleasure to be here. This is the fun part. Of course, they've grown and have expanded and built their own building, but it's our role to help companies, both domestic and foreign, move into the state of Georgia, create jobs for Georgians, and this is the culmination of that, and this is the fun part. But we are very appreciative for you including the state of Georgia in your dedication ceremony today. And we are very proud, just as you are, of this beautiful new facility. I had the good fortune of visiting Osaka it's been about 5 weeks ago now. And it's a beautiful city. My only regret is that I could not stay longer, but I hope that your visit while you're here will be as pleasant as mine was while I was in your country. And as I say, I would love to have stayed in Osaka a little longer, but having to work for a living, it meant that we had to move around a good bit and had to make a lot of calls, but thoroughly enjoyed that. We certainly hope that you will continue to grow, not only in our state, but within your company as well. But with this facility and all the beautiful land that surrounds it, certainly one day we are very hopeful that you will decide to manufacture the powertrain belts in the state of Georgia, as well as have your headquarters here. We look forward to the opportunity of assisting you in that endeavor. Mr. Ishii, who has been no of assistance to you in this program, will certainly be available. He would love nothing better than to have the opportunity to help you grow and expand. On behalf of Governor Harris and Commissioner Berry, I'd again like to thank you for including us and to congratulate you on a beautiful new facility and on the growth that you've had within your company. And I'd like to thank you too for the beautiful flower. Thank you very much.
I'd like to introduce next the Honorable Takeuchi Kimura, the Consul General of Japan.
Thank you, Randy. Mr. Nitta, Mr. Shizawa, Mr. Gilbert, Mr. Cordoza, and Mrs. Webb. Thank you for inviting me for this opening of Nitta International's new building. Nitta is known back in Japan as a company which is diversifying its activity in many fields. One of them I knew before was horse racing in Hokkaido. I used to do some betting. These Nitta horses didn't do well to me. At least I knew that Nitta Belt Company is doing that kind of things as well. So many different kind of things which until I was explained, I didn't know what was the relation, but actually I was told those are all related in one way or other in the business strategy of Mr. Nitta and Mr. Ashizawa. So now here we are, we have a new building which is housing Nitta's belt manufacturing and sales office, as well as leasing the good part of it for the business here in Atlanta area. So I see here again another Nitta activity coming, and that's the reason I tried to come to this ceremony. I had to wake up very early in the morning, 5:30, at the southern tip of Florida, and took 2 planes ride, and I arrived actually 20 minutes earlier. That's a good record. So I stayed to some other parking lot for 20 minutes, and I had 15 minutes nap. The reason I wanted to come here also is that I understand this is the show of confidence and appreciation to the support of the state of Georgia and Gwinnett County for the business activities of Japanese-related activities. Now, 216 Japanese companies are located in Georgia. We released the number very recently, and out of which about a quarter are located here in Gwinnett County. And that's a very good record, I should say. That's a compliment to Mrs. Webb and others who are working on it. It is definitely that the show of their confidence and trust and appreciation, I should say, of all those Japanese companies located here. So the Nitta company, which is expanded here, will have a good future in prosperity with the help of the community as well as the state. And so I have no doubt that Nitta, which is already a very good cooperative citizen,
of Gwinnett and Georgia will be doing the kind of activities further for the promotion also of the good relation between Georgia and Japan. So in all those reasons, except that I lost some money in the betting, that I came here, and so I'm glad to come, and thank you very much.
I too would like to take the opportunity on behalf of the Gwinnett County School System to welcome the Nitta Corporation, our new neighbors. I won't attempt to recognize our guest and destroy those beautiful names for the people sitting up here. I simply am not very good at pronouncing names. It's a great honor for us as a school system to receive this generous act of friendship toward our students from the Nitta Corporation. We appreciate it very much. I think most of you are aware that they are providing 2 10-day trips to Japan for 2 of our seniors within the Gwinnett County High Schools. We'll be sitting down next week, our staff will, with company officials to work out the criteria for selection of the students who will take these trips and who will act as ambassadors not only for Gwinnett County, but for America as well. And there are 2 or 3 goals and criteria that we will be looking strongly at as we select these students. One, we'll be selecting students that we feel will model the good behavior that Americans should model when they are abroad. Secondly, we will select students who are academically well-versed. And thirdly, we will select citizens of Gwinnett that we feel would serve as good ambassadors for our county anywhere they went in the world. So once again, I would like to thank the Nitta Corporation and the officials of the company for your generosity in awarding our students these fine trips to Japan. It's an opportunity that most of us will never have in our lifetime, and it's an exciting thing for young people to have an opportunity to do that sort of thing. Thank you very much.
Our next speaker is Mrs. Lillian Webb, Chairman, Gwinnett County Board of Commissioners.
Thank you very much. Very, very distinguished at table, distinguished business leaders, and best of all, friends. On behalf of Gwinnett County government, the Board of Commissioners, I bring you greetings from over 315,000 people that are now calling Gwinnett home. And a large part of the success of our county has been from your confidence, your families, your business associates moving into great and growing Gwinnett. So we're very pleased you're here. And if there's anything that your county government office can do at any time to help you in your day-to-day matters or in any social activities or any names that need to be found for you, please do not hesitate to call upon any of us in county government. It's good to see what is happening in our county. It's good to see the businesses that are moving to Gwinnett, not only from here in our country, but from overseas. We feel like we have a very strong international flavor here in Gwinnett County. And your very presence today in expanding and moving into other portions of Gwinnett, a strong evidence of what is taking place. We right now have over 55 Japanese companies, and from all the other countries throughout the world, there is a strong following. So we feel very fortunate. We are very pleased you're here, and we wish you the very best in the next few years of being here in great and growing Gwinnett. And you know, Gwinnett didn't just happen. We still have some of our first families that helped make Gwinnett great. And I have a book that is a little bit of a historical snapshot of what Gwinnett was a few years ago, over 100 years ago. And even though it's entitled Vanishing Gwinnett, Gwinnett isn't vanishing, ladies and gentlemen, but this will give you an idea of what some of the first families went through in helping to establish and bring Gwinnett to its greatness. So at this time, from your Board of Commissioners office, I would like to present this to the Nittas and let them in their leisure have a glimpse of what Gwinnett was like a few years ago. And of course they see the present, and we know what the future is going to bring too, is more of some of the same greatness. But again, welcome to Great and Growing Gwinnett. We're so pleased Nitta Corporation is here, and your very presence today is very rewarding to all of us. And thank you too for the lovely corsage.
Our next speaker today will be the president of Nitta International Incorporated, Mr. John Gilbert.
It's not all bad being last. I can either make it long or short. So since we had many fine speakers and we appreciate you all coming, I'll make mine short. A lot of people have asked, what is Nitta International? Well, we're just one subsidiary that's from the Belting Division of Nitta Industries Corp. And we have not only salesmen of our own, but distributors throughout the United States distributing flat belting and conveyor belting. Now, our parent company is over 100 years old, and Nitta International is only a little over 8 years old. We have, we didn't just reach this position, we reached this position for several reasons. One, we have quality product. We have good people, we have good customers, and we have dedicated people in the Nitta International organization selling and fabricating here in the United States. Well, the total situation with Nitta International, first 2 years was kind of rough. We had many obstacles. We had people change. We had tough competition. We see in the last 2 years a tremendous change around, and that's again due to dedicated, basically salespeople and the people here that are in this building. We want to thank you all. More important, we have total support from our parent company, and that means a lot to a company that's new. They've never hesitated to give us what we want. We might have had to argue a little bit, but as you can see today with this building, we've reached a first goal. When I say a first goal, that's the end of the 6 years. Now we look for the future. The next 5 years, we should probably quadruple what we're doing right now. We think that in the past 4 years, we had more growth in the conveyor belt side, which is, you will all be able to see the products as you pass through our conference room. We go from the strength of Nitta, which is power transmitting belts, into the conveyor side. And we look forward to doing something on that here in America. The business continues to grow today at about a 20% increase per year. By adding more salesmen, which we're currently doing, we should double this amount again. So we're looking forward. We're very happy to be in Gwinnett County. We have a lot of support there too. And we look forward to staying here, by the way, and I hope we can expand more. We'll talk to the powers to be about that. We appreciate all your help so far. So without further ado, I think we need to get into this gift to the Board of Education to Gwinnett County. We have decided, in lieu of just one trip, we are going to do it each year for the next 5 years. If it works out for both of us, then we'll see what we do in the future. But we look forward to helping young people, and I think it's a great thing that they can go over there and they'll really enjoy it. So I'd like to present you with the little certificate, and we will work out the details next week. Thank you very much. I guess now, since we're running a little late, that we should have the christening of the building, which is a breaking of the sake. So, Ms. Webb, I don't know if you can handle it.
I try. I might take it to some of my commission meetings. Sony.
Yeah.